This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Aussie Mac Zone. How are you tonight, son?
Fantastic, Michael. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Got to remember to turn that down before we start, don't you?
That's right, I do. I'm just telling everyone we're live.
So, let me get into comments up the top here. Post a comment. Welcome all. And chat. There we go. That's gone off to Facebook and
Yeah, there we go. It says welcome all.
and YouTube. All right.
Excellent.
So, let me just get to there. Yeah, that's the one we want. So,
All good here.
hang on. All just check. All good. Yeah, getting the all good. Therefore, everything working right. So we must be, I must remember to hit the go live button and everything right this time, just for a change.
Yeah, we did.
So, our first story this week involves Apple and Product Red. So
Yeah, this is a really cool thing.
Yeah, our Aussie Apple ramblings start with Apple expands partnership with RED to combat HIV, AIDS and COVID-19. So Apple's 14-year partnership with RED has raised almost $250 million to fund HIV, AIDS programs. So as the COVID-19 pandemic continues, Apple is offering more ways than ever for customers to support RED's fight against AIDS in Africa while simultaneously protecting those communities from COVID-19. In 2006, Apple joined RED's mission to end HIV/AIDS epidemic in suburban Saharan Africa. Over the last 14 years, Apple's partnership has led to almost $250 million in donations for the Global Fund's HIV/AIDS programs that offer prevention, testing and counselling services. Since 2006, Apple-supported grants have provided over 10.8 million people with care and support services, helped with distribution of more than 160 million HIV tests, provided 13.8 million people with ongoing access to life-saving antiretroviral treatment. And this year, communities around the world are grappling with AIDS as they also work to respond to protect against COVID-19, particularly for vulnerable populations. COVID-19 has created challenges in accessing care, diagnostics and supplies, often disrupting crucial HIV programs. To alleviate these challenges and ensure continuity, life-saving HIV/AIDS services, Apple's contributions were redirected to the Global Fund's COVID-19 response at the onset of the pandemic earlier this year. Thanks in part to support from Apple and Apple customers, the Global Fund's COVID-19 response has been able to alleviate the impact of COVID-19 on the communities most affected by HIV/AIDS and provide critical support to health systems threatened by the COVID-19 outbreak. These funds have allowed for additional contact tracing in South Africa, helped secure critical personal protective equipment for health workers and emergency medical equipment in Ghana, and enabled the purchase of motorbikes to deliver HIV treatment to local communities that have been able to seek in-person health services due to COVID-19. Apple also donated millions of units of PPE to the Ministry of Health in Zambia, including both surgical masks sourced from its supply chain, as well as face shields designed and produced by Apple. So yeah, there's stuff in the show notes, of course, but yeah, good on us.
This is amazing. Yeah, this is amazing work. Like, they have really, really done a great job with this. I want to buy the Apple 12 Pro Red.
Yeah.
Just because I like the colour as well, but it's also a great cause. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do when I get my iPhone. I'm going to get a Red. They're on back order at the moment after 6 weeks.
Yes.
So the lady at the telecommunications stall, which I will not name because they are terrible, but it's the only way I can get one. Unless I go and buy one outright, which I was like, I might as well just get a plan because I want the data. But if I wanted just a 12 Pro,
Yeah.
it was a 6-week wait. If I wanted a 12 Pro Max, it was a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm just going to end up going with the 12 Max because it's going to be a little bit longer. I think I can get it by Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up going with the 12 Pro Max.
So, 4th Australian Podcast Award.
Yes. The 4th Australian Podcast Awards for 2020 as chosen by over 60 international Australian judges. And the winners are Podcast of the Year, Bird's Eye View. The judges chose Bird's Eye View for all our 2020 gold winners to receive our best... Oh, hang on a second. I just need to move that over a little bit so I can read the whole one. The Best of the Best Award. Raw, insightful, heartbreaking, and empathetic, like Ear Hustle. The show offers a window into the lives of
Incarcerated.
Thank you. I need my glasses. I don't know why I never put them on before I do the show. I take them off and then incarcerated people. But here, centering the voices and inner lives of women in a men's prison. As an independent project, this represents a high creative, sonic, and ethical watermark for Australian podcasting. Listener's Choice, Life Uncut. After a public poll received over 45,000 votes, you chose Life Uncut with Britt and Laura to walk away with the Gold Award. Podcast Champion, Audiocraft. Each year we ask our finalists and judge to nominate a person or company that has championed Australian podcasting. This year, the podcast company Audiocraft took the accolade for 6 years of inspiring conferences for podcasters of all sizes, accumulating in its biggest ever year, 2020, despite all of that this year has thrown at us all. Now, on the link to there are 24 more categories with gold, silver, and bronze winners listed. So that's in the show notes.
Yep.
We're not there. I don't know why. We're amazing.
I just like to point out that our sister show, Aussie Tech Heads, was the winner of the first vote award.
Oh wow! Awesome.
Yeah.
So the first vote in for that was
was
it? One of our partners.
Yeah. Aussie
Excellent.
Tickets. So
Aussie Tickets. There you go.
Yeah. Famous.
Yep.
So here we go. So Apple patents new MacBook's Touch Bar with Force technology. So 9 to 5 Mac reports, while we're waiting for a new redesigned MacBooks next year, a new patent application was published by the US Patent and Trademark Office, revealing a new version of the Touch Bar that looks exactly like the current one, except that it has model features, Force Touch. Force Touch sensors were introduced for the first time in the first generation Apple Watch that allows the screen to identify the touch pressure in order to perform different actions based on touch intensity. This technology was then introduced to the MacBook trackpad in 2015, so it could work just like a regular trackpad, even without mechanical button. The iPhone 6s got 3D touch in the same year, which is basically the same technology, but was discontinued in recent iPhones. And although Apple Watch also no longer has Force Touch, Apple may still have plans to add this feature to another product. As reported by Patently Apple, the company's latest registered trademark shows a new touch bar that is sensitive to touch pressure. The patent, filed in May 2019, clearly shows the touch bar on MacBook with new circuits that make Force Touch work. There are no further details on how it would work, but it's not hard to imagine Force Touch on the touch bar being used to avoid accidental taps, which is something many MacBook users complain about. So, yeah.
Yes.
Now.
So I don't know why they took it away. I actually liked it.
Yeah. Do we have gaming this week, my friend?
We absolutely have gaming this week. So, Warp Drive.
There we go, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Now, this is just the front page. This doesn't give away anything because I want people to go and play this. Michael, you would love this game, by the way, because these futuristic race karts, I guess.
Yeah.
They don't have wheels. They have four, aero. What would you?
Like we imagine hoverboards would be.
Yes, like we imagine hoverboards would have. Exactly. Yeah. And it's got four of those. They look like an F1 car with V's on it instead of wheels. And you sort of hovering just above the ground, and they're extremely fast. So much fun. This game is like proper, intensely fast-paced. If you don't take every advantage that's offered to you to get into the lead, you will not win a race.
Uh-huh.
I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried for ages to win a race before I finally realized that I need to take every advantage that is handed to me by the game to get in front. Like I said, the future-style vehicles, not only do they look absolutely cool, because, like I said, they look like an F1 car that's being converted into some sort of awesome hovercraft.
Yeah.
They're also completely upgradable. So better propellers, better propulsion, which is the same thing. I've just said it twice because it sounds cool. You can change the colors, you can change the shape of your buggy. You name it. Like, it's very, very cool. I really, really like this game. It's an arcade-style game too, so you can play it on the big screen of your TV, and it will feel like one of those arcade games, or you can play it on your phone, and it feels like an app game. And there was no glitches. It was just fun. And I love these racing games, especially it reminded me of Nintendo brought out a game with it must have been the 64, Nintendo 64, I think. And you're basically a hovercraft, spacecraft sort of thing, going through all different courses and jumps and that sort of thing. So it reminds me of that in the way that it's set out. It's not the same. It just has remnants of that feel. Because it's that arcade-style game as well, no track's the same. And when you load in, it'll never give you the same track, like one after the other. So normally it'll give you a different... If it does, I apologize, but it seemed to me that it would not give you the same track, which is awesome because you get to play a whole bunch of different tracks as soon as you load in. You load in and it's like, oh, you're on this track. Oh, you're on that track. It doesn't just like, all right, you've got to play this track to get to point B.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was awesome. This was just a fun game. I'm going to give it 3.7 apples out of 5, just because, it wasn't ultimately a 5 game, but it was definitely a 4. And the reason I'm giving it 3.7 is because it's really, really hard.
So a lower score because you weren't good enough. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's right. So I'm giving it a lower score because, God damn it, I wasn't good enough. I probably should have given it about a 4.2 or something like that, but no, I wasn't good enough. I kept getting beaten. And I didn't realize until like halfway through I was playing over and over again after retrying to win, that I had to take all these advantages to win, and I'm like, well, that's stupid. So I gave it 3.7 instead of 4.2.
There you go.
That's right. To them, but it was a great game. I loved it. Absolutely love it. I recommend it to everybody.
Excellent. So just before I go on, because I actually used to work in car racing and worked as official in car racing and stuff a few years ago. Glad to see, and thanks to everybody, all the officials there, getting Roman Grosjean out of his accident on the weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and glad to see he's doing all right. So,
He's okay. There's also who's got COVID?
The Mercedes driver, the world champion.
Yeah, the Mercedes driver. Yeah, him.
Yeah, him.
That's the one. Yeah. I don't know his name either. But I do know he's got COVID though, but he's only got minor symptoms, and he's been put in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I think there's another race next weekend, so I don't think he's going to that one.
No, he's not, and they've been testing everybody
in
the team, and anybody that's come in contact with him, and he's going to watch all of that, and see how it goes. So good luck, swift recovery.
Yes,
and hope he's okay as well.
So now, a Charlie Brown Christmas. The Peanuts Gang will deck the halls with the premiere of A Charlie Brown Christmas, streaming on Apple TV Plus on December 4. The holiday special will be available to enjoy for free from December 11 through December 13. So probably just go to apple.com/TV, and you never know what you can find out there.
That's right.
Now, I've just got to whip up there, change the picture, whip back there, and there's our new picture. Go for it.
Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special, also starting on December 4th, faced with a holiday cheer crisis. The North Pole knows there's only one person who can save the day. Santa's great friend Mariah Carey.
That's right.
The Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey. That's fabulous and star-studded spectacular to make the whole world merry. The special lineup also includes Tiffany Haddish, no one knows who that is, Billy Eichner, Ariana Grande, Jennifer Hudson, Snoop Dogg, he's in everything, it doesn't matter. Jermaine Dupri, Misty Copeland, and Michelle Harris. Extra special appearances also made by Carrie's twins, Moroccan and Monroe. They go excellent on steak as well, by the way. That's what, Moroccan is always great with, steak and a side of rice.
So they're just two things that are happening this week.
Look, the Mariah Carey Christmas special, I'm sure it's great. If you ever have worked retail, which unfortunately I have, the All I Want for Christmas Is You song has been permanently etched into my grey matter, and it makes me twitch even thinking about it.
All right. So,
switch to both of us.
Speeding up data collection to help save the Great Barrier Reef. ZNet reports the Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest coral reef ecosystem and one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. However, it is under great threat. A recent study by the ARC Centre of Excellence Coral Reef Studies revealed that the Great Barrier Reef has lost half its coral in the past 3 decades to mass bleaching events caused by rising water temperatures. Coral reefs have an annual reproduction event every November and December that has the potential to see healthy corals spread their larvae with the help of the ocean's current to parts of the reefs that have been affected by bleaching. The challenges faced by researchers are figuring out how to identify and map these healthy reefs and how to evaluate the way the reefs can be protected and how to monitor the dangers faced by corals due to the large geographical range of the Great Barrier Reef, roughly the same size as Italy. Researchers have only collected data for about 5 to 10% of the reefs. In a bid to ramp up data collection, conservation organisation Citizens of the Great Barrier Reef has launched a Great Reef Census project. The project aims to bring together stakeholders across tourism, including visitors, divers, science, research and business, to assist and scale data collection from across the reef by capturing images of the reef. Now, also a reminder, the ABC in Australia has a special reef show on this coming Friday and Saturday night with live pictures from the reef and lots of information about it. So, yeah, it is a very important thing and something to enjoy, so we don't want to lose it.
Absolutely. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the most beautiful natural wonders of this planet.
Yeah.
This tiny blue dot. And it'd be an absolute travesty if we lost it.
Yes.
So, yes. That's all right. So, Apple not playing its part on electronic waste reduction, says UK. 9 to 5 Mac reports again. Apple has been accused of not playing its part in electronic waste reduction in a new report in the UK, despite initiatives like the iPhone recycling robot seen above. Do we have a picture?
Nah. But,
okay.
Yeah, we've all seen the robot picking stuff up, but yeah.
Yep. The company prides itself on its environmental stance, including specific programs designed to reduce the amount of electronic waste, but was called out for two practices. The Guardian reports the Amazon, Apple, and eBay were all specifically named. Global giants such as Amazon and Apple should be made responsible for helping to collect, recycle and repair products to cut the 155,000 tons of electronic waste being thrown away each year in the UK, says a legislator. A lot of it goes to landfill, incineration, or is dumped overseas. Under current laws, producers and retailers of electronics are responsible for this waste. Yet, they are clearly not fulfilling their responsibilities. The MP's members of Parliament, I should say, wrote. Globally thrown away computers, smartphones, tablets, and other electronic waste have a potential value of $62.5 billion each year for the precious metals they contain, including gold, silver, copper, platinum, and other critical raw materials such as tungsten and indium.
Yep.
Yep. It might seem surprising that Apple was targeted when the company is boasting its use of recycled materials and offers both trade-in and recycling programs, but MPs say that the company falls down in two areas. Electronic waste reduction, Apple criticism. First, many of its products are either difficult or impossible to repair by owners.
Anyway. Keep going.
I will.
I got my two bobs worth at the end. Right.
Excellent. The inquiry by MPs heard that tech companies such as Apple have been found to glue and solder together internal components, making any repair nearly impossible. MPs said consumers did not have control over the products they owned. They could not take components out to repair themselves, and there were no access manuals or on how issues could be fixed. Second, the repair charges by Apple are so high that it discourages repair. The charges proposed for Apple, repair by Apple in particular, can be so expensive it is more economical to replace the item completely, the report said. Apple responded by highlighting its work in electronic waste reduction. We were surprised and disappointed with the Environmental Audit Committee's report, which does not reflect any of Apple's efforts to conserve resources and protect the planet we all share. There are more options for customers to trade in, recycle, and get safe quality repairs than ever before. And our latest Apple Watch, iPad, and iPhone lineup all use recycled materials across key components. We continue to work with Parliament and the government to document Apple's industry-leading commitments and to support our common efforts to leave a clean, economical, and healthy planet for the next generation. Michael, please.
So, I am an authorised, Apple authorised tech. I do repairs to my choice. Is I only choose to work on the computers. I don't do the iPad or the watch or the iPhone or iPods, that sort of thing. Now, one is just think about how many broken TVs you see in the street. Just people don't take them to the recycles. Like, all right,
others haven't picked up.
Penrith, has a recycle centre for electronic objects, not fridges, but things like TVs, computers, that sort of stuff. And so
but where is it?
At St Mary's.
That's right, it is in St Mary's. But do you know how many people in Penrith would know that?
You've only got to go to the Penrith City Council website and look it up, or look up recycle in Penrith, and the answers are there. And it is open on the weekend too, so you can go down on a Saturday and drop the stuff off. It's not that hard. Apple will take any old Apple product,
any,
working or not working.
That's right.
Broken or not broken. All right. You might have dropped it. You might have run over it with a car. You don't throw it in the bin. You just take it and give it to Apple. No question. Just there you go. Thank you.
We'll do what we do, and we just hoard everything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I hoard it so long that the battery expands and breaks.
Yeah.
So, but because we as users like things to, say, for example, better waterproofing, this adds a lot to the cost of the repairs. So for things like, I've done one watch out of warranty, and yes, you've got to separate the watch from the chassis.
Yeah.
And then you've got to spend ages cleaning off all the old glue from the top and the bottom, like from the display and the chassis.
That's right.
It's not screwed together. It's because you want it watertight. Right? So I just had my son's Apple Watch fixed by a non-authorised repairer.
Yep.
And one of the things they get you to do is sign a bit of paper that you understand that the waterproofing won't be as good. Not doesn't exist, won't be as good. So basically, and we'll get onto a bit of the waterproofing in a minute because Apple just got fined for that also. This also applies to Apple phones. So when you're getting your phone fixed at a non-authorised repairer, you've got to sign to say, I understand the waterproofing won't be as good.
Yeah.
On later Apple Watches, if you use a non-authorised repairer, you can't use Tap to Pay anymore because they don't get devices with the Apple Tap to Pay on it because it keeps their costs down, and they can say, look, we fixed your watch for $200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apple did just get into trouble in Italy to do with waterproofing because they boast about, for example, the Apple phone is waterproof. Like it's rated to a certain point. That's only in plain water. Right? But on the lightning port of the phone, there is a sensor that says it's been wet. Once that sensor goes off, it's not covered. So what's the point in boasting about it being waterproof to a certain standard and it doesn't work because it's been wet? They haven't even taken it apart. They've said, all right, this sensor's gone off because it's a bit of paper that changes colour with water.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't include salt water. Doesn't include, and you know, it's got to be plain water.
Tap water.
Yeah. So, there's a lot more work in keeping something waterproof, for example, to a standard that we expect anyway. So if we do drop our phone, or you know, it's raining really hard, people have had phones fail because they've been out in the rain, stuck out in the rain. So yeah,
remember that one? I left my phone. It started to rain, and I rushed the kids inside because it was coming down very heavy.
Yep.
And I accidentally left my phone on the table in our yard, and I ran back out to get it, but it was too late because it was coming down that hard that the table now had about half an inch of water, which is enough to cover a phone completely. And it died, and we did try to save it, didn't we, Michael?
Yes.
We did try to save it, but unfortunately it was unsavable, except for the brand new battery that had been put in it, which we swapped over to, I think it was Curtis's phone.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just, you know, life goes on, but be aware. Yeah. And that's why they are glued together and soldered together. Even internally in your MacBook Air, just MacBook Airs, for example, right? Yeah. Now there's stickers over where the flat cable goes into for the speakers. Yeah. The stickers over that so to keep the moisture away from them.
Yep.
Where the power plugs in, the stickers over that to keep cat. The stickers over that to keep the moisture away from that if it does get a little bit of moisture in there because it doesn't want the corrosion to start.
And it's not like they don't make most things click and plug and play. Yeah. You know, even in the internals of the phone or your MacBook or whatever. It's not like they don't make most things plug and play. They really do. They're not a hard device to work on if you know what you're doing. Yeah. And the reason why anybody shouldn't pull them apart anyway is because either warranty or if you do break it, it's going to cost you more to get repaired anyway. Why wouldn't you take it to a technician?
There's so much more anti-static precautions needed now than there used to be. Yeah. Because what is there on the new chip? 1 billion transistors. Yeah. Doesn't take much of a zap to kill it. So, that's right. Yeah. Now, because we got stuck in having to move our show,
yes,
we've got some news just in.
Yes, we do.
Apple presents the App Store Best of 2020 winners. Apple celebrates 15 of the amazing apps and games that inspired the world in 2020. Apple today presented its App Store Best of 2020 winners, recognising 15 apps and games that proved to be essential for making life easier, healthier and more connected this year. Notable for their high-quality, creative design, usability and innovative technologies, these apps and games are equally celebrated for their positive cultural impact, helpfulness and importance. This year, more than ever before, some of our most creative and connected moments happened in apps. This was thanks to the amazing work of developers who introduced fresh, helpful app experiences throughout the year, said Phil Schiller, Apple Fellow. And around the world, we saw remarkable efforts from so many developers. And these Best of 2020 winners are 15 outstanding examples of that innovation. From helping us to stay fit and mindful, to helping our children's education on track, to helping fight hunger. Their impact was meaningful to so many of us. The independent developer of Wakeout brought gentle exercise to home offices and classrooms with light-hearted and inclusive moments designed for everyone. Vast fantasy worlds in games like Genshin Impact, Legends of Ranatera or Disco Iliasum, which is to do with Greek mythology. Dandra Tales of Fear and Apple's Arcade Sneaky Sasquatch delivered a great escape, while Disney Plus offered a sense of unlimited possibility that many crave, whether it is facilitate distance learning through Zoom, create daily routines with Fantastical, or lull us into sleep with Endel. The App Store Best of 2020 helped us survive our best lives at home. And really the winners are...
iPhone App of the Year, Wake Out, developed by Andreas Canella.
Yeah. iPad App of the Year, Zoom, because it had lots of many improvements.
Yeah, it really did. Mac App of the Year, Fantastical, developed by FlexiBits.
Apple TV App of the Year, Disney Plus.
Apple Watch App of the Year, Endel.
iPhone Game of the Year, Genshin Impact from MiHoYo, or MyHoYo.
iPad Game of the Year, Legends of Runeterra from Riot Games.
Mac Game of the Year, Disco Iliasum from ZAUM.
Apple TV Game of the Year, Dandra Tales of Fear from Raw Fury.
Apple Arcade Game of the Year, Sneaky Sasquatch from RAC7. And there is a couple more things on, if you go to the link.
Sneaky Sasquatch, I did a review on. Sorry, Michael. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, there is just 4 more bits of information on the link at Apple's website.
I did a review on Sneaky Sasquatch. It is an absolutely hilarious game. Very fun. So, yeah, I played a similar game. It was made by and funded by the Melbourne Victorian Council or something like that. It was on my console and just said you should play this game and check it out. Like, it's a fully Australian-made game, and it's called I think Naughty Goose or something like that. And it says at the beginning, it's a beautiful day in the village. The sun is shining and people are out everywhere. And you're a horrible goose. and you are. And you are. You play a goose and you're stealing stuff off people and, you know, pulling rakes into the lake and, attacking children.
Lots of fun.
You're more squawking and stuff like that, but you still scare them. It's very funny. And it reminded me of Sneaky Sasquatch because, you know, you're sneaking around and stealing, you know, picnic baskets and all that sort of stuff while you're helping animals and other things. So it was a very good game, and so is Sneaky Sasquatch.
Okay.
So, Michael.
Yeah. Show notes. Anything else?
No, that's it from me. Yeah.
All right, so the show notes link each week on show upload, the link being
AussieMacZone.com.au ANZ 363. There you will see the last 6 weeks of show notes.
Yeah, you can email us, Michael or Zarn, at AussieMacZone.com.au.
Just search Aussie Mac Zone on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Overcast, or wherever you get your casts from.
That's right. Now, don't forget, you can check us on Apple News. Just search for Aussie Mac Zone. And thanks to our supporters, you, our listeners and watchers, thank you very, very much. And Zarn...
We are always most gracious, and thank you.
Yes. Over to Zarn for the sign-off.
Excellent. All right, guys. Stay safe. It's coming up to holiday season. You'll see it again soon. Next week we're on, aren't we, Michael?
Yeah, couple of weeks ago yet, mate.
Couple of weeks ago.
Stop slacking.
Yeah. couple of weeks ago, and so I want to make sure everyone stays safe. Be nice to people. It's the holiday season.
Yes,
Remember,
and parking's
it's
crap,
important.
for example.
It is
like,
parking's
just
crap,
like
and everyone's cranky and carrying on, but just be nice to people because it's the right thing to do.
don't be one of them.
Remember, that's right. Remember, an apple a day keeps the androids away. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.